He has 12,000 yards in 8 years.
And
That's insane.
that's decent.
He has 10,000 rushing yards in 8 years.
And
How many running backs are doing that these days?
all of them?
No, they're not.
What do you mean? No, they're not.
No. Alvin Kamara's on like year 6 and he has like 5,000 yards.
All right, so he's gonna do it, is what you're saying.
No, he's on year 6. He's not getting 5,000 more rushing yards in 2 years.
All right, Todd Gurley, he had 8,000 rushing. He had 8,000 yards.
In scrimmage?
8,300 yards in 6 years.
Rushing?
No, just yards.
Yeah, so 2 more years, he's getting 4,000 yards?
Probably at the pace he was going.
No, because he got injured.
All right, but if he
And he had
didn't
a
get
cut.
injured, okay, all right, I get what you're saying. So you're saying at their best, Todd Gurley is a better running back. I agree with you on
No, I'm not saying that at all. It's not.
that. He's already almost to your boy.
He's retired. He's never reaching my boy.
Yeah, but I'm saying at his best, he was better.
He's 4,000 yards away. That
And-
means he has to. That means he has to average 2,000 yards per season
No, what are you talking
Yes.
about?
because Eddie George retired after 8 years. If
And Todd
Todd
had more
Gurley-
touchdowns in those 6 years.
yeah, it was a more running league.
What do you mean? No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Who had more rushing touchdowns?
Huh? Todd.
Who had a better team behind him?
They both went to the Super Bowl. What are you getting at there?
The Titans had one of the worst teams in the history. Look at their coach,
What?
Jeff Fisher,
Todd Gurley also had Jeff Fisher, and he did more with him.
for 1 year.
What do you mean for 1 year?
He had Sean McVay.
Your boy played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons.
Oh, 9 seasons.
Todd played 6 and almost reached your man's numbers.
4,000 yards in 3 years.
Yes, he
After-
easily would have done that.
After his peak.
What do you mean after his peak? Todd Gurley's not even 30 now.
When did he leave the league? At like 27?
Probably.
Which means he's past his peak.
Because he got hurt, sir. All right.
No, that's 27 is the age where running backs start declining. Every running back,
Okay.
except for Christian McCaffrey. Because
All right.
he's declined his whole career and now he's excelling.
All right. Todd Gurley's better.
No, he's not.
How is he not?
The numbers prove it.
The numbers prove Todd has more touchdowns than him in 6 years than your boy had in 9.
Because he got the ball stolen from him at the goal line.
With the bum knees. And Todd Gurley left touchdowns on the board by
Todd
falling
Gurley-
down before the end zone.
Exactly, because he was on a better team.
No, your
Had a
team
better
went to the
offensive line.
Super Bowl.
We were like 9-7 that year.
You had the MVP quarterback.
Steve McNair shared the MVP. The only player to ever share an MVP.
Are you implying Jared Goff is better than Steve McNair also?
He might be.
All right, and Todd is better than Eddie George.
Eddie George is the best running back to ever live, breathe, or die.
You hear that, 7 viewers? This guy said Eddie George is the greatest of all time. If that doesn't show you who's right in this debate, I don't know what will.
It's me.
No.
You're trying to make it seem like Todd Gurley's the greatest of all time. If you
No, I'm saying Todd Gurley was already better than Eddie George, is what I'm saying.
So are you saying Chris Johnson's better than both of them?
No.
He has 2,000-yard rushing season
Yeah, but Todd had 2,000 yard season. The
from
same
scrimmage.
thing. It don't matter. He had 2,000 yards from scrimmage. And Todd had more
Chris Johnson
touchdowns
had
than that boy
2,000
too.
yards rushing. Chris Johnson had 2,000 yards rushing.
Why does it matter? 2,000 yards, 2,000 yards. Why does it matter how you get him?
Because it's harder to get it in one category.
Bro, your boy Chris Johnson doesn't even have as many touchdowns as Eddie George. You talking about Chris Johnson?
Because he's got it stolen.
Eddie George has more receiving touchdowns than Chris Johnson. You talking about Chris Johnson?
So is touchdowns more important than yards?
Yes. Your boy Chris Johnson has less yards than Eddie George. Are you talking about Chris Johnson? Am I tripping at home, y'all? I am one of the 7. You are one of the 7, bro. The most active of the 7 also.
I just want to know who Newt is.
If Eddie's in, Gurley's in. That's what I'm saying. And I'm just saying, if Eddie's in, Gurley's a little bit over him, Newt. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's not.
He is.
Bring up Todd Gurley next week. I won't say nothing.
Maybe I will. But they'll know based on him only playing 6 years.
Maybe it could be a current player.
He hasn't played since 2020, sir.
I'm just it does say the years.
They'll get suspicious. All right. Let's end this. Gurley had much less attempts. Thank you. See, Newt is the only reasonable person I'm talking to.
Newt had much less attempts and 4,000 less yards.
With 3 less
4,000.
years.
4,000 less yards.
I'm just saying.
You're trying to act like Eddie George's career of 9 years wasn't phenomenal.
I didn't say that. I'm saying Todd Gurley at his best is better than Eddie George at his best, which shows.
So Todd Gurley at his best is better than Marshall Faulk at his best.
No.
Why not?
Because Marshall Faulk had multiple 2,000-yard seasons.
Todd Gurley didn't have the chance.
All right.
Because Jeff Fisher got jealous and broke his kneecaps.
Where's Todd Gurley's MVP at, though?
Where's Marshall Faulk's MVP?
In his trophy case?
He doesn't have a regular season MVP.
Yes, he does. He almost has 3, but Kurt Warner took 2 of them. He came in second twice to Kurt.
Didn't deserve any of them.
Yeah, like you guys didn't deserve to be in the Super Bowl with us. That should have been the Bills.
All I'm
Anyways,
saying, there's been 2 running backs in the past, 13 years, 14 years that have rushed for 2,000 yards, and neither of them got the MVP. Why? Because it's no longer an MVP award. It's a quarterback award.
Adrian Peterson got the MVP.
Yep.
And he was
Why?
in between those 2.
And why? Who knows? Because it's not Chris Johnson. Because it's not a Titans.
Well, I'm just saying.
They hate on the Titans. Hey, all I'm saying is everybody hates the Titans. For what? I don't know. The Titans do nothing to anybody.
Maybe if you guys would have a better record than 9-7, they would take the MVP. All I'm saying.
MVP is not a team award.
I know it's not a team award, but I mean, if you suck, how are you valuable?
Because you're playing good. Look at
Okay.
Jaden Daniels with the Heisman. His team's not winning all the games, but he's putting up the craziest numbers.
All
If
right.
he doesn't win Heisman, it proves my point.
Why don't you love Trevon Diggs' interception season?
Because he also allowed a ton of passes to be caught over him.
But to get 2,000 yards, you have to get a lot of rushing attempts also.
Not if you. I mean, he still averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Are we talking about Chris Johnson or Derrick Henry? Because
Talking about Chris Johnson. I mean, we're talking about either one.
they both averaged over almost 5 yards a carry,
Trevon Diggs still had 13 interceptions.
and he also allowed 1,000 yards against them.
All right, but he still got the interceptions though.
He was also number 1 in most yards allowed against.
You're not hearing me though. Just
It's
like
cool to get one, but you can't give up the other.
all right, but it's the same thing. It's cool to have 2,000 yards, but you can't also be 9-7.
But the thing is, the quarterback situation has been a joke in Tennessee for how long? Since Steve McNair left.
Ryan Tannehill's
We
a
had-
Pro Bowler, sir. Right?
We had Vince.
Show him
We
some
had Vince
respect.
Young. We had Vince Young and Kerry Collins. Then it went to Jake Locker. Then Zach Mettenberg, and then we had Mariota, and then we had Ryan Tannehill.
Newt
But
said
Ryan,
no one likes the Titans. And it's probably because their fans think Eddie George is the greatest of all time.
you own both? Oh, it just shows YouTube. How is it showing YouTube now?
I don't know. I'm not going to try and understand this thing. Oh, I guess the chat refreshed. I don't know. I'm not going to try and understand it. Anyways, that's Are They Hall of Fame. You had all the exact same picks they did, except the placing of Tracy McGrady was a little bit different. They said Eddie George is behind CM Punk. What about you?
No, I
Forgot to
think
ask
he's
that
above.
again.
I think he's above.
But CM Punk's a champion.
Eddie George should be. They got cheated out of a Super Bowl.
I am bypassing the system. He basically is. Yeah, I mean, if getting cheated is you shouldn't have been there in the first place. I agree.
That
All right.
pass interference on Dyson right before he made the catch.
There's no pass
What's it
interference.
called?
If
Yeah, it wasn't
anything,
called.
if anything, maybe that illegal forward pass in the Music City Miracle. That's all I'm saying.
There was no illegal forward pass.
I don't know. It's close, man. You guys robbed Doug Flutie of his Super Bowl appearance, and he never made it because of that.
Maybe he should have played for the Titans that year.
I mean, it wouldn't make any difference. I mean, he's not breaking those tackles Steve McNair was breaking.
No, I'm just saying he should have sat the bench behind Steve McNair.
Yeah, then he could have, watched the confetti fall for the ramps just like Steve McNair did.
No, he could have helped Steve McNair win a Super Bowl.
Nah, sir. You're talking
All right.
insane here.